Welcome to the AI Hustle Podcast, the podcast where we break down the latest in AI news, tools, and interview experts helping you hustle and do more using AI. If you've been following the podcast for a while, you'll know that over the last 6 months, I've been working on a stealth AI startup. Of the hundreds of projects I've covered, this is the one that I believe has the greatest potential. So today I'm excited to announce AIBox. AIBox is a no-code AI app building platform paired with the App Store for AI that lets you monetize your AI tools. The platform lets you build apps by linking together AI models like ChatGPT, Midjourney, and 11 Labs. Eventually will integrate with software like Gmail, Trello, and Salesforce, so you can use AI to automate every function in your organization. To get notified when we launch and be one of the first to build on the platform, you can join the waitlist at aibox.ai. The link is in the show notes. We are currently raising a seed round of funding. If you're an investor that is focused on disruptive tech, I'd love to tell you more about the platform. You can reach out to me at jaden@aibox.ai. I'll leave that email in the show notes. Vector databases are a very crucial storage solution for unstructured data like images, videos, and text. And these are increasingly playing a very pivotal role in the AI landscape. Essentially, these databases power LLMs like GPT-4 that drive ChatGPT. And chiefly due to their kind of, they're really powerful in real-time indexing and searching as data emerges or is updated. These functionalities are critical for tailoring features like personalization, recommendation systems, sentiment analysis, and beyond. Today on the podcast, I want to talk about a very interesting company in this space called Marqo. This is an open source vector search engine for AI applications. So let's jump into it. With the escalating interest in generative AI, numerous different vector database startups have emerged as frontrunners. I think just in April, there was Pinecone and Weavable that had significant investments, over $100 million for Pinecone and $15 million for Weavia. And concurrently, newer entrants like Chroma and Quadrant aren't far behind. I think Chroma was $18 million and Quadrant was $7.5 million in their initial financing rounds. So further, I think the previous year, we saw Zilliz, which is the primary developer for the open source vector database Milvus, and they secured an impressive $60 million in funding. And you know what? Something that's really interesting is I was recently at the AI4 conference in Las Vegas. If you noticed last week, there was a couple days where I did not post a lot of podcast episodes. It's because I was up to my elbows in different conference talks. And while I was there, I spoke to a lot of different AI companies that were on the market, and a lot of the major funded AI companies at that conference were databases and people working on backends and architecture for artificial intelligence. So I think clearly there is a surging demand for companies developing infrastructure to kind of stay ahead of the AI revolution. And a standout among them, I believe, is the Australian startup Marqo, which is creating a very comprehensive pathway to vector search. So Marqo was conceived in Melbourne by its co-founders, Jesse Clark, who previously headed machine learning at Amazon's robotic division, and also Tom Hammer, who is an ex-database software engineer for AWS. The primary challenge Marqo addresses is the intricate world of unstructured data, which as some sources suggest, compromises nearly 90% of all data generated. So the growing reliance on generative AI for varied tasks underscores the imperative need for advanced tools to really navigate this massive data sphere that we're seeing today. So Marqo sets itself apart by offering a very comprehensive suite of vector search capabilities, and they do this straight off of the shelf, which not a lot of other people are doing. So this encompasses vector generation, storage, and retrieval, and this is integrated, and they're doing this, this approach to essentially allow users to use or get around third-party vector generation platforms from industry players like OpenAI, Hugging Faces, and really consolidating everything into a singular API, which is, if you've asked a lot of these developers working on this, is absolutely game-changing. So Tom Hammer, the CEO of Marqo, he really emphasized the challenges developers face, stating that, quote, vector search is difficult to implement. Vector databases are only one part of the puzzle, and developers find it challenging to bring all the required components together to build a vector-based search experience with optimal relevance, latency, and reliability. Marqo provides an end-to-end system that brings all of these components together, solving a major pain point for developers. So I think, moreover, Hammer kind of underlined the importance of the quality of search results. And he said, quote, if developers want to continually improve relevance of search results, they have to manually train new AI models for vector generation. Marqo's continuous learning technology will allow search to automatically improve based on user engagement, which is absolutely crazy, right? So let's say, they're integrating AI to make really powerful search results, a company is. If they want the most up-to-date relevant information, they need a system that essentially is continuously improving. So it's not like whenever they get around to doing a big new update or training a big new model and pushing it out, they get this one time, right? It's kind of like what we see with ChatGPT, right? It's like ChatGPT has these big pushes where it's like, okay, it's GPT-3, now it's GPT 3.5, now it's GPT-4. Imagine if it wasn't one big push for one big product, but it was just slow incremental improvement every single day. And that's kind of where they think this space should go for, this type of technology and some of the technologies they're working on. So talking about their funding, last year they actually raised an initial $840,000. And in a recent announcement, they just raised another $4.4 million in seed funding. And they really kind of, with this new raise, have hinted at expanded commercial endeavors. So I think this includes a new cloud service, which debuts alongside the pre-existing open source Marqo project. And I think really embracing an open source model, Marqo aims to resonate with the developer community, allowing them the freedom to really customize the product. So Hammer believes that open source development ensures superior product quality. However, he also acknowledges the resource-intensive nature of maintaining open source projects, right? This is not something that's super easy. And, leading to the introduction of Marqo Cloud, which essentially eases the operational burden for users. So while rooted in Australia, Marqo has established a parent company in the UK near its first investor, Creator Fund. And the company has a relatively modest presence in London, which it intends to augment, particularly in sales, marketing, and customer support roles to really fortify its European aspirations. So the recent funding round for Marqo was spearheaded by Australian VC, which is Blackbird Ventures, with notable contributions from Creator Fund, January Capital, and Cohere co-founders Ivan Zhang and Adrian Gomez. And I think just having, the co-founders of a company as prolific as Cohere on board with you really signals the value of your service, the value of the product they're offering. This is going to be a very interesting company to follow in the future and see how they grow. If you are looking for an innovative and creative community of people using ChatGPT, you need to join our ChatGPT creators community. I'll drop a link in the description to this podcast. We'd love to see you there, where we share tips and tricks of what is working in ChatGPT. It's a lot easier than a podcast, as you can see screenshots, you can share and comment on things that are currently working. So if this sounds interesting to you, check out the link in the comment. We'd love to have you in the community. Thanks for tuning in to the AI Hustle podcast. If you could do us a massive favor, we would really, really appreciate it if you could leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. This helps people find the podcast. It helps people know this is a good place to go. And we would really, really appreciate it, as it helps us continue to bring on incredible guests and share incredible content for you to listen to.